In the next 48 hours, a massive energetic threshold is being crossed. You can already feel it, can't you? The sudden, jarring isolation, the confusing silence from people you thought were completely safe, the heavy, suffocating pressure building up inside your physical body. If you've been feeling intense throat chakra tightness, like you are physically swallowing your own truth just to keep the peace, along with sudden relationship collapses and a bone-deep emotional exhaustion from endless people-pleasing, keep watching, because there's one specific reason why this has been happening to you right now, and I'll explain exactly what it is later in this video. This isn't just another day or another passing mood. You are an empath, a natural healer, someone who has spent years, maybe lifetimes, bending over backwards, shrinking your aura, and absorbing the emotional toxic waste of everyone around you just so they wouldn't walk away. But right now, your nervous system is crashing. You are experiencing heavy brain fog, time distortion, where you just sit staring into space and feeling like you are moving through thick mud. You are giving 100% of your soul's energy and getting barely 30% back in return. Listen to my voice very carefully. The sudden exits, the friction, and the collapsing structures in your inner circle over the last few days are not a mistake. You are not being abandoned. You are being strategically isolated. Stay with me, because what unlocks next will permanently alter the landscape of your life. The grief and profound loneliness you are experiencing right now as these connections fracture are entirely valid. You might be waking up with unexplainable nausea, your jaw locked tight from biting your tongue, and an exhaustion so deep that sleep doesn't even begin to touch it. You are grieving the illusion of safety. For so long, you equated safe with familiar, even if that familiarity was built entirely on your own self-sacrifice. But as the fog lifts, you are being forced to look at the brutal reality of what these relationships were actually costing your soul. Let me be very clear about the astrology of what is happening, because right now, the universe is operating with surgical precision. We are approaching a highly volatile and definitive alignment. On April 9th, the Sun is forming an exact conjunction with Saturn. Saturn is the planet of karma, absolute authority, and harsh reality checks. It does not deal in potential or what could be. It deals only in undeniable truth. When the Sun, representing your core identity and life force, collides with the heavy weight of Saturn, there is no more hiding behind diplomacy. The mask comes off. Every single dynamic in your life that is built on an unstable foundation of people-pleasing and self-betrayal is being dragged into the harsh light of day. Simultaneously, we have a heavy, uncompromising aspect between Venus and Pluto. Venus rules your relationships, your values, and your fundamental self-worth. Pluto is the lord of the underworld, the great destroyer, the planet of death, rebirth, and absolute transformation. This combination is not a gentle, harmonious transit. This is a cosmic eviction notice. Saturn and Pluto are working in tandem to forcibly remove the energetic parasites from your orbit, but they are systematically dismantling the superficial ties, the one-sided friendships, and the draining partnerships that you have been too terrified to cut off yourself. You have been crying out for radical freedom. You have been quietly begging for the right to exist without constantly apologizing for taking up space. But you cannot hold the high frequency of that freedom while still dragging the dead weight of people who require you to shrink, just to keep the peace. The universe is not punishing you by suddenly removing these people from your life. It is protecting you. Your nervous system is reacting so violently because it is physically detoxing from the trauma-bonded addiction of being the fixer and the savior. This sudden relationship collapse is the universe answering your prayers, but it is doing so by burning down the cage you outgrew. So, what is the specific reason I promised to reveal to you at the beginning of this video? Why is your reality fracturing, and why is your physical body reacting with such intense distress? The answer comes down to 3 undeniable truths that you must finally face. The first truth is the expiration of your outdated soul contracts. You need to understand that the sudden endings and cold distance you are witnessing are not random, unfortunate events. This is a direct cosmic mandate. When you agreed to incarnate with the energetic signature of a healer, you took on unconscious contracts to elevate the consciousness of specific individuals. You agreed to be their sanctuary, but a sanctuary is a place of rest, not a hostage situation. The timeline for these specific soul contracts has officially run out. The universe is forcibly severing these ties because your energetic assignment with these people is complete. Staying a single second longer than the contract dictates is exactly what is causing that suffocating tightness in your throat. Your soul is literally choking on expired, stagnant energy. You cannot speak your truth because your truth is screaming at you to leave, and your ego is terrified to listen. The second truth exposes the deeply hidden shadow of your empathy. You must realize that your desperate urge to fix these collapsing relationships is actually a trauma response. As a people pleaser, you have been conditioned since childhood to believe that your inherent value is tied to your utility. You subconsciously believe that if you can heal them, absorb their pain, or manage their emotions, they will have no reason to abandon you. But trying to resuscitate these dead dynamics right now is a trap. It is a profound betrayal of your own life force. Every ounce of energy you pour into trying to convince someone to treat you with basic respect is stolen directly from your own nervous system. That heavy, stuck-in-the-mud brain fog you are feeling is the cognitive dissonance of your brain trying to figure out how to save a connection that your soul is actively trying to escape. You must surrender the toxic need to be the savior. Their refusal to evolve is not your cross to bear. The third truth is the ultimate purpose of this purge, the rise of your radical sovereignty. This sudden isolation is not a punishment. It is a cosmic unlock. You have been praying for high vibration, reciprocal, defated connections, the kind of relationships where you are poured into just as much as you pour out. But the universe cannot deliver those connections if your energetic field is utterly congested with the debris of parasitic attachments. You are being pushed, shoved even, into radical sovereignty. This means establishing ironclad, uncompromising boundaries. It means looking at the empty spaces in your inner circle and refusing to fill them out of panic, guilt, or loneliness. You must realize that your true, unfiltered, unapologetic self has never been too much. You were simply dealing with people who required you to be small so they could feel big. The space being cleared out of your life right now is the exact amount of space required for your true self to finally breathe. Now comes the hardest part of this transmission. I need you to brace yourself because I am not here to sugarcoat your reality, or offer you the comfort of toxic positivity. This is where we must do the brutal shadow work. I know exactly what your biggest fear is right now. The terrifying thought keeping you awake at night, making your heart race in your chest, is the deeply ingrained fear of total abandonment. You are paralyzed by the subconscious belief that if you finally set a real, uncompromising boundary, if you stop shrinking, if you stop fixing, and if you refuse to apologize for simply existing, every single person will leave you. You are secretly terrified that underneath it all, your true, unfiltered self is simply too much for anyone to handle. But I need to deliver a very harsh reality check. Your desperation to control this collapse, your urge to send that long, emotionally exhausted paragraph, trying to explain yourself yet again, or your willingness to absorb just one more disrespectful comment to keep the peace. These are not acts of unconditional love. They are acts of self-betrayal, rooted in deeply toxic trauma bonds. You are not holding on to these relationships because they are genuinely good for your soul. You are clinging to them because the familiar pain of being drained feels safer to your wounded inner child than the terrifying void of the unknown. You have weaponized your own empathy against yourself, offering up your brilliant light merely as a free battery to power someone else's continuous dysfunction. Right now, this heavy Saturn and Pluto alignment is acting as a relentless cosmic lie detector. You cannot hide your energetic truth anymore. In every time you say, "It's fine," when your throat is tight with unshed tears, the universe registers a lie. Every time you agree to do a favor that makes your stomach churn with resentment and exhaustion, the universe registers a lie. You cannot fake your vibration, and the universe will no longer support structures built on your hidden suffering. The absolute biggest mistake you can make during this massive energetic shift is resisting the purge. If you try to reach back into the fire to pull out a connection that the universe is actively burning away, you will only get burned. You will trap yourself in a dense, karmic loop of people-pleasing and exhaustion for another entire cycle. Listen to me very carefully. Most people have absolutely no idea what's about to hit and will completely miss it. They will view these relationship breakdowns as random tragedies. They will play the victim. They will frantically scramble to find new energy vampires to attach to just so they don't have to sit alone in the silence with their own shadow. Do not be one of them. Do not let your fear of a temporary emptiness push you back into the arms of the very people who caused you to forget your immense power in the first place. The safety you think you are losing right now was never actually safe. It was just a familiar, comfortable cage. As we move through the immediate aftermath of this intense April 9th alignment and into the coming weeks, the dust will begin to settle. But your internal landscape will be fundamentally altered. The days ahead are going to demand a level of ruthless accountability from you that you have never dared to access before. This is your actionable blueprint for survival and integration, and I demand that you take full responsibility for it. This isn't just another day or transit. This is the definitive initiation of your new era. The time for over-explaining your boundaries, negotiating your worth, and begging for breadcrumbs of basic respect is entirely over. You are no longer allowed to play the helpless victim to the emotional vampires you continuously invite into your own sanctuary. Your integration over the next week requires the immediate and unapologetic application of the silent door closing. Energetic severing technique. You do not need to announce your departure. You do not need to write a final, dramatic manifesto trying to make them understand your pain. You simply stop. Stop initiating the contact. Stop reaching out to check the temperature of their mood. Stop sacrificing your own peace to fill their awkward silences. Pull your golden energy back into your own core and silently lock the door behind it. Let them experience the absolute absence of your light. When you feel that familiar, anxious urge welling up in your chest, the urge to text them, to smooth things over, or to apologize for your own distance, breathe deeply into that tightness. Acknowledge that this is merely the toxic trauma bond flaring up in your nervous system, and refuse to engage. Let the cold, hard silence be your iron boundary. Remember when I said that your sudden relationship collapse is actually the universe answering your prayers by burning down the cage you outgrew? The withdrawal symptoms from escaping that cage are going to peak in the next few days. You will feel the phantom weight of their expectations trying to drag you back into the mud. You must endure the intense discomfort of that emotional withdrawal without relapsing. Let the sudden, echoing emptiness in your life remain empty. Do not rush out in a panic to fill it. That void is sacred. It is the precise energetic frequency required to finally attract the reciprocal, fated connections that will honor your soul. This great shift is not asking for your permission. It is demanding your active participation. And you are being aggressively stripped of every single dynamic that is not completely authentic to your highest timeline. The universe has cleared the stage, dismantled the false safety nets, and handed you back the absolute sovereignty of your own life force. You finally have the radical freedom to exist without apologizing. The question is, are you ready? If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.